In a quiet little town, nestled amongst snow-covered hills, there lived a family known as the Brights. They weren't rich in gold or silver, but their home overflowed with warmth, laughter, and an abundance of love. This family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Bright and their 3 children. Leo, the eldest and most responsible. Maya, the creative soul with a heart full of dreams. And little Tim, whose eyes sparkled with the magic of childhood. As December 25th approached, a thick blanket of snow draped the town, making it look like a scene from a Christmas card. The Brights, like everyone else, were busy with preparations. The scent of gingerbread and pine filled their cozy cottage. However, this year felt different. A sense of unease had subtly crept into their home. Leo was worried about his upcoming exams. Maya was frustrated with a painting she couldn't perfect, and even little Tim seemed a bit quieter than usual. The small, everyday worries were beginning to cast long shadows, dimming the festive spirit. On the morning of December 24th, a fierce blizzard swept through the town. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and snow piled up against doors and windows. By evening, the power went out, plunging the entire town into darkness and silence, broken only by the whistling wind. The Brights huddled together in their living room, the flickering light of a few candles dancing on their anxious faces. The Christmas Eve they had planned full of carols, movies, and last-minute gift wrapping was gone. Disappointment hung heavy in the air. "This is the worst Christmas Eve ever," Leo grumbled, staring into the darkness. Maya sighed. "All our plans are ruined." Little Tim, wrapped in a thick blanket, just looked from one sad face to another. Seeing the gloom settle over her family, Mrs. Bright knew she had to do something. She turned to her husband, who gave her a knowing and supportive nod. She then gathered her children closer and said gently, "I know this isn't what we expected, but maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity to remember what Christmas is truly about." She went to an old wooden chest in the corner of the room, a family heirloom passed down through generations. From it, she retrieved a dusty, leather-bound book. The cover was worn, and the pages were yellowed with age. "This book," she began, her voice soft and melodic, "holds a story my grandmother used to tell me every Christmas Eve. It's called The Legend of the Glimmering Star." The children, intrigued, leaned in closer. Even Leo put aside his worries for a moment. Mrs. Bright opened the book and began to read. The story was about a distant, cold village where people had forgotten how to share and care for one another. They lived in isolation, their hearts as cold as the winter snow. Every family kept to themselves, hoarding their food, their warmth, and their joy. The spirit of community had vanished. One year, on the night of December 25th, a star unlike any other appeared in the sky. It wasn't the biggest or the brightest, but it had a gentle, warm glimmer that seemed to call out to the villagers. An old prophecy spoke of this star, saying it would only shine its full light when the hearts of the people were united as one. Drawn by an unexplainable pull, one by one, families emerged from their homes, carrying whatever small lanterns and candles they had. They gathered in the village square, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. At first, they stood in awkward silence, strangers in their own village. Then, a little girl, seeing an elderly man shivering in the cold, took off her own woolen scarf and wrapped it around his neck. The man, touched by her kindness, shared a piece of bread he had in his pocket with a young, hungry couple. That small act of giving was like a spark. Soon, others began to share. Someone brought out a log for a communal fire. Another shared a flask of warm cider. A woman started singing a forgotten carol. And soon, hesitant voices joined in, growing stronger and more confident. As they shared their meager possessions, their stories, and their songs, something magical happened. The small, individual flames from their lanterns and candles began to merge, creating a powerful, radiant glow that lit up the entire square. And as their hearts united in warmth and camaraderie, the glimmering star in the sky above began to shine brighter and brighter, bathing the entire village in a celestial, loving light. They realized that the true magic of the season wasn't in what they had, but in what they shared. The light they created together was far more powerful than any single flame. When Mrs. Bright finished the story, silence once again filled the room, but this time, it was a comfortable, thoughtful silence. The wind still howled outside, but inside the cottage, a new warmth had ignited. Leo looked at his sister, Maya. He saw the frustration in her eyes wasn't just about a painting. It was about feeling like she was failing. He put an arm around her and said, "Maya, your art is amazing because it comes from you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's work on it together tomorrow, okay?" Maya looked up, a small smile gracing her lips. "Okay," she whispered. Maya then turned to Tim, who was still huddled in his blanket. She realized he was scared of the dark and the storm. She pulled him onto her lap and began telling him a funny story about a clumsy reindeer who kept tripping over his own hooves but ended up saving Christmas with his big heart. Tim's quietness soon gave way to soft giggles, his fear melting away in the warmth of his sister's story. Mr. Bright, watching his children, felt a surge of pride. He went to the kitchen and returned with a platter of cheese, crackers, and some apples, a simple feast. He announced, "Behold, the grand Christmas Eve banquet." They all laughed, the tension completely broken. As they shared the simple food, they started talking. Not about exams or imperfect paintings, but about their favorite memories, their silliest mistakes, and their biggest dreams. They told stories, they laughed until their sides hurt, and they listened to each other, really listened. They weren't just a family living in the same house. They were a team, a unit, bound by an unbreakable thread of love and understanding. In the middle of their laughter, the power suddenly flickered back on. The Christmas tree lights blinked to life, casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the room. For a moment, everyone was silent, looking at the bright, cheerful lights. Then, Leo walked over and switched them off. "I think," he said softly, "I like the candlelight better." Everyone agreed. They didn't need the bright lights or the television. They had each other. They had created their own light, a light far brighter and warmer than any string of bulbs could provide. This unexpected, dark, and stormy Christmas Eve had turned into the most memorable one they had ever had. It wasn't about the presents under the tree or the elaborate plans. It was about unity, empathy, and the simple, profound joy of being together. They had rediscovered the wisdom from the story of the glimmering star, that true light, true joy, comes from a united heart. It's the love we share, the support we give, and the togetherness we cherish that makes any night, especially the night of December 25th, truly magical. The Bright family fell asleep that night not to the hum of electricity, but to the gentle rhythm of a family whose hearts were beating as one, filled with a love that could outshine any star in the sky. The story of the Bright family and the glimmering star is a beautiful reminder for all of us. In our busy lives, it's easy to get lost in our individual worries and forget the strength we find in unity. This holiday season, let's remember to put down our distractions, to truly connect with the ones we love, and to share our own light. Because when we come together, we create a warmth and a brilliance that can overcome any darkness. If this story touched your heart, we have a whole collection of inspiring tales just like it. Be sure to check out our playlist for more stories that warm the soul and spark the imagination. Let's keep sharing these messages of love and togetherness. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. If you enjoyed our story, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next one. We'd love to hear your own family's Christmas stories in the comments below. From our hearts to yours, we wish you a season filled with light, love, and beautiful togetherness. Thanks for watching.